Secretary of State Marco Rubio delivering a stern warning to the Middle East, saying the Strait of Hormuz has to be open one way or the other. This after U.S. forces conducted what Washington called defensive strikes in southern Iran. Joining us now, U.S. Army Special Forces veteran and Middle East expert Jim Hanson. Jim, it's great to have you here tonight as we are waiting for all of this to unfold. The question, million-dollar question right now is, where do the negotiations stand following the defensive strikes, and is the administration making progress behind closed doors?
I think progress, like all the rest of this, is a flexible term, but we are in a position where we can wait longer than they can. So the longer this goes on, it causes President Trump political damage in the United States, but that's about it. There is now definite damage to the pocketbooks of Americans, and that is something that concerns him greatly, but not to the extent he's willing to sacrifice all of the efforts made so far. So the Iranians, because of the blockade, are definitely behind the eight ball. They have no money to pay their bad guys. They have no revenue to run their government. What they have is a few of their dangerous toys left to menace the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
So between those two things, they need to make a deal.
Okay, well, despite the tensions in the Middle East, the director of the U.S. National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, he forecasts a bright economic future for us here in the United States. Listen.
As soon as the straits are open, then energy prices are going to plummet like nothing you've ever seen before. There's so much oil sitting in the Gulf, there's so much excess capacity in Saudi Arabia and UAE that prices should drop very, very quickly.
And I'll add to this that earnings have been really strong. The stock market is doing well. Oil has now dropped. It's under $95 a barrel. So things are looking up as these negotiations play out. And the president has said no dust, no dollars. So he's going to get what he wants before they get any more money to proceed.
Oh, no doubt. And that's the game. They need the money. Their oil revenues went to zero when we shut down their ability to sell it. So all of those things, the people who follow this for a living are betting on President Trump. Now, in the end, a deal is going to be made and the strait will open, even if we have to force it open. The U.S. Navy can do that, and it will be a fight. It'll be difficult, it'll be dangerous, but we will get oil flowing through that. And if we have to continue bombing Iran during that to keep them off balance, that may be the 1-2 punch they get.
Yeah, and we see oil prices really being largely contained here in the United States because of the president's drill baby drill policy, which has our oil flowing to help with the demand side and the supply side of the equation. But this is curious. A Wall Street Journal op-ed from the weekend getting a lot of attention, asking if Trump will bail out Iran's regime. The op-ed says, quote, the preliminary deal is for both sides to end their blockades and perhaps for the U.S. to sweeten the pot financially while talks on nuclear issues and further sanctions relief continue for 60 days or more. A U.S. official says, but Iranian officials deny that the regime gave assurances a final deal would include disposal of the enriched uranium. If Iran's economy is on this brink of collapse, I certainly don't think President Trump will take his foot off of the economic gas pedal, if you will. And so there's speculation out there like that funds will be unfrozen. I don't see that happening. I don't see $1 of oil revenue flowing in there until the president gets what he wants.
I think a way to square that circle is to go ahead and do humanitarian aid. The people of Iran are suffering. We're not hearing about it because they have an internet shutdown. They're not connected. And the regime's not about to tell us how bad things are for their citizens. So there may be a way to go ahead and do some things that help the people of Iran, that keep the regime from collapsing completely while we finish the deal. I don't think it'll be much.
Food inflation, we've certainly heard about. Their currency is plummeting, and reports of gas lines as well. But you're right, we're locked out from what is happening on the ground because that's the way this regime wants it. Jim Hanson, thank you so much. And also thank you for your service to America.
Good to be with you.
All right.